Saul of Tarsus, as you know, was Paul of Tarsus, Paulo of Tarsus, Saint Paul, Saint Paulo. This man is not a saint. He were never Jesus' apostle. He were never a believer, a Christian. He was never a devote of the Lord. On the contrary, he did everything in his power to keep Christ away and apart from the Jews. He truly believed that Jesus was even more dangerous than he was when he was alive among the Jews. Paul of Tarsus was the fierce enemy in that time of the Lord. Paul was a very educated, very well educated man. He knew the scriptures and laws of the Jews and the way the scriptures were written, the letters, the intentions, the meanings of every single letter. He knew very well the scriptures and how it was written. He was the fierce enemy of Jesus. This man dedicated his own life to keep Christ away and apart from the Jewish community, from the Jewish people, from the Jewish nation, to erase completely Jesus' life as a Jew, as the Messiah. That was a reality not acceptable by Paul. He gave his own life to keep Christ away from his own nation, the Jewish nation. He wrote, he knew how to write and what to write and who to address his writing, his letters, and the stories, and the way to behave among the Gentiles. As a Jew, he easily could be accepted by the Gentiles, as Jesus was a Jew. He was a Jew. Jesus is a Jewish man, as Paul. So he knew what to do and what to write and convince and be among them to take Christ away from the Jews and to keep Christ as of not for the Jews but for the Gentiles. That's what Paul did, and he succeeded. Paul of Tarsus is not a saint. He was a very, very smart man. He was my Lord's enemy and the Jewish enemy. He thought he was defending the Jewish from Jesus, but it was on the contrary. And today, nowadays, they are suffering all consequences. And Paul is one to blame. You are calling this man saint. He's not a saint. He was against Jesus all the time. He was doing all to keep Jesus away from the Jewish people. In his mind, he was protecting his people. But it was on the contrary. The Jewish suffered immensely, deeply, without knowing why. Paul helped with their sufferings because they lost their Messiah. They killed their own salvation. And Paul of Tarsus helped for this to happen until these days.